All right. Well, if Unrooted RC was building a solid rear axle truck for FTX, it would look something like this. Yeah, I've always wanted to build an FTX Outlaw, but they have just always had such problems for a budget RC, and the problems are inherent in the design and the materials used. So what am I doing? I'm trying to eliminate those issues, torque twist issues, flex issues, general falling apart issues. So anyway, let me run you through the build. So all the blue stuff is from FTX. It's their alloy parts. It seems to be a fairly decent alloy, actually. It's not a thoroughbred 7075, but it's better than a lot of other alloy I've seen, and it's certainly good enough for this application. This car will be like a Formula off-road type car, paddle tires for sand, or very loose cliff running, all that kind of stuff like they do in Iceland. Have a look it up if you want. To eliminate some of the twists in the chassis, of course, under here I've got an alloy chassis brace. I've got the carbon fibre chassis that they do, all alloy parts, but I've also machined some titanium round stock that I had down to size, and so I have titanium spaces in here and here, as well as alloy. These have been upgraded to alloy spaces where the original battery tray goes. I've moved the battery tray forward. That is a battery tray from Element RC stock small battery tray, and that literally is, I've just cable tied that down on top of the alloy chassis brace. Rear end wise, it's all getting a bit funky. So the stock rear end is made out of Swiss cheese. The plastic is very FTX plastic is very bendy. So this is a full upgrade. All the parts are alloy, as you can see. I'm using a Vanquish anti-rock sway bar because it has a big problem with torque twist as well as chassis twist. I'm using Trio lowers. I've had to sand and machine the ends to fit in these receivers here and here. And these are off Losi LMT. I've used, these are not what I'm going to use here. I'm going to use these somewhere else. I just wanted to roughly see what I needed. So I basically need the Losi LMT uppers, which are on the way. Drive shaft wise, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's very long from there to there. So I've got some LMT drive shafts coming. I will try them. I've got a Traxxas UDR drive shaft coming to try as well. So we'll see. I'm going to have to get creative there. It's quite a long distance. These I'm thinking about using as some kind of further chassis brace to come down here onto the chassis, although there isn't much flex, but the flex is here basically in the carbon fibre, and I'm actually worried that this carbon fibre will snap at this location across here. The front is braced until there with this alloy brace, and then after that there's no bracing at all. So I need to try and tie in something here or with the brace, or I don't know. Haven't got to grips with that yet. The donor vehicle that all the plastics came from was the worst RC I have ever seen. I'm hoping that it was a little kid that had it. Everything was packed full of grease. The center diff arrangement, although there's no diff, it's just a spur and a pinion setup, was packed full of grease. The front and rear was packed full of grease, and it was this really hard grease. It had either, something had gone very badly wrong. Anyway, it took me 2 days to clean these parts up, but these are the original parts and they came up pretty good. There's nothing wrong with them. So I've reused those. and bolstered it with as much of the alloy version of what they do. I'm not too sure about these standoffs. They look like pot metal to me, but hey ho, we'll give them a go. So that's it in a nutshell. Battery tray has moved forward. It's normally in this location, bad location. These aren't the shocks I'm going to use. I've just got them in for keeping the rear end together. I've got some nice Proline Pro-Spec shocks that will arrive. Some nice electronics. So that'll be part 2. We're going to be putting in the electronics and tidying up some other bits and pieces before getting on with the body. The body was in a terrible state, unusable. So I'm going to try and reuse the cage and cut my own panels, and we'll see how that goes. Anyway, the most expensive FTX Outlaw on the face of the planet, I should imagine. Peace.